Day 2 of compositional analysis is Edvard Munch's The Scream, painted in 1893. Can you just imagine how far ahead of its time this painting looked in 1893? So yesterday I talked about Rubens' Samson and Delilah, and I talked about Sinister Diagonals. And a Sinister Diagonal really is on the assumption that we read from left to right. So it starts high on the left and goes down on the right. Meaning as we read from left to right, things are getting smaller, things are falling away, things are lowering down in the canvas, and it gives this feeling of sadness in a way, of decay, of things going a little bit wrong. And it tends to be known as a sinister diagonal, as opposed to a Baroque diagonal that goes from the bottom left to the top right and rises as we move from left to right. So talking about sinister diagonals, here is probably one of the granddaddies of them all, in that although it's not going from the top left corner exactly, there is such a strong diagonal going from upper left down to bottom right, passing through the screaming figure in the middle there. Everybody knows this painting, and let's have a quick look as to what's going on compositionally. So the main diagonal is reinforced by that fence. I'm just showing the upper and lower on that fence. But also you've got this sort of containment between the figures that are on the left there and this strong vertical on the right. And just as an experiment, I removed those to see how the painting felt. And doesn't it feel more open without those two elements there? All of a sudden, the character is screaming, but it doesn't seem as claustrophobic as it does with those elements in place. There aren't many straight lines in this painting because Munch wanted to put over the organic nature of anxiety and the human condition. And as you can see, the twisting figure extends up into the sea in the background, underneath the sky, and into those two figures in the background. You could argue it's a question mark. I don't think it's as contrived as that. I think it's just more that it's an organic movement around the canvas. And that organic movement is contained by the strong lines in the background denoting the troublesome skies. That's where all the colour is, that's where the anxiety is, the tension is, and of course it extends down the top rails of that fence behind the character. Now, triangles. I said that there aren't many straight lines in this image, and there aren't, but there is this sense of an out of balance triangle that I've just denoted here that feels like it's top heavy, that it's going to fall over, that it's precariously positioned, and that's exactly what Munch wanted to put over, I believe, especially as when you draw a line through the figure through that triangle, you see that's also off balance. It does feel like it wants to fall. It does feel like the sky is bearing down upon it, that it's unstable, that it's going to topple and collapse at any minute. Exactly what Munch wanted to put over in this painting. So there we have it. Quick compositional analysis of Edvard Munch's The Scream from 1893. More tomorrow.